Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for a dynamic effort lower day. But a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please remember to click like down below. It would be greatly appreciated. And I had someone ask already, because I put a teaser up on Instagram with the speed squats. And someone's like, what's happened to those mats? Like, oh, I have them. I still have them. But they're better for max effort work. When I'm doing speed work and jumping in and out of this setup real quick, particularly when I have to step over them with a safety bar because you can't get under it from the front the same, it's just easier to use plates and just use a softer plate for the top. And I could do the same thing with plates and just put a foam cushion on the top if I needed to. It's just easier. It's just easier for me to work around because those things are so big. And again, it would be a little different if I'm using a bar where I can back into the bar, but definitely not so much with this one. And I'm trying to give everyone some different angles on the speed work so you can see what the speed boxes look like. I try to minimize the rocking of the box. And if you guys notice, I sit way back, right? We sit way back. My shins are parallel at the bottom. Eventually, I want to get to where the shins are behind. I want to have the knee behind the ankle. Which I used to do it in the past a bit on these box squats. So I've got to get used to the speed work again. You guys will also notice the reason I went with this open base, notice my toes are technically outside the rack. Okay, wide. We want to go wide for box squats. As wide as you can comfortably go while still getting below parallel. And you guys can see this is taking me below parallel, even with the wide stance. And that's kind of the point. We need to go below parallel and we need to explode. Compensatory acceleration. It needs to be explosive. And I agree with Winning that even if you can hit the 1 meter per second with a certain weight, if you go just a little lighter, you'll get the same benefit. But we recover easier. And if we can recover easier and we still get all the practice and everything with the speed work and we get the explosive training and we still hit those upper threshold fibers, what do we get? It means we can handle more training volume on the hypertrophy type work, all the supplemental work, the accessories, because it's real accessory heavy. If you guys notice, I'm doing a lot of it, doing a lot of GPP. That's going to be the game plan. It's going to be lots of GPP. So I had a little problems with those chains here. Next week I'm going to go over to bands. I had a lot of problems with the chains on this one, but it's lots and lots of GPP. I've been dragging my sled every day. I do my weighted walks in my weight vest every day. And then my training volumes are pretty high. And if you guys notice, most of even my off days, I'm doing the pull-ups and I'm doing the leg raises and stuff. I may start working in a little bit of reverse hypers and things. But again, the volumes are high. Bringing carbs and protein way up, fat is very low. So that we're going to make lean gains only. Going into worlds. Okay, going into worlds, it's got to be all lean gains. And I can pull that off. And people will talk about, I thought you said recomposition is very difficult, or lean gains, or they are, because it requires a perfect environment. And most people are not going to live that way. Right? You people are not full-time lifters. You're not full-time coaches. You guys actually care about, the taste of your food. I can't eat 300 grams of protein. You see the problem there? Okay, if that's your mindset, you can't pull that off, and that's okay. I don't make most of my clients do that. Why would they? Hey, this is for people who this is a full-time endeavor. And even as a coach, you have to understand that when you're putting out information, when you're coaching people, what is their goals? What are they going to be willing to sacrifice? What are they going to be willing to sacrifice? And in my case, I can build my lifestyle around this. Right, and build my lifestyle around this. I'm a full-time coach and athlete. Plenty of disposable income, as everyone already knows. With my love life, I am dating a full-time coach and athlete. So it all works, and that's the funny thing. People don't understand. That's why I laughed when people are like, "Oh, how's your dating life or whatever with what you do?" And I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. There are plenty of women who are hardcore fitness enthusiasts who are perfectly fine with that. So just keep that in mind, people. But they're not going to date you guys who aren't as dedicated. And that's okay. It's all about comparable lifestyles. It's all about comparable lifestyles, guys, with everything that you do. And that's a whole nother topic that people don't seem to understand when they're looking at those things. But yeah, I need more space, and so the home gym will be put in a garage. After Worlds, I plan on moving. I plan on, hopefully, if all goes well, having a house ready before Worlds even gets there, and then moving all this stuff after Worlds. I just don't want to move with Worlds coming up. I need to take it seriously, and I just can't handle that sort of situation. I have the ability to move anytime I want. It's the issue of the disruption to my training. All right, disruption to my training, the extra stress. I need to train. I need to get to Worlds, then get moved, and then we'll start getting ready for Nationals next year. But for the supplemental work after the box squats with the SSB, the conventional deadlifts, we did 3 sets of good mornings. Those felt pretty heavy, guys. I mean, for me, that was pretty heavy with 275. I'm still getting used to good mornings again. I stopped at 3 sets, and I'm going to try to do them both days now. I want to minimize the axial loading. I want to get just enough volume with the good mornings to get the full benefits, and then I need everything else to be recoverable. So after that, we did 5 sets of axle bar rows, and I know I did these yesterday, and I think I'm going to switch over to the more inverted rows or chest supported stuff for the upper days, and then I'll do things like the axle bar rows on lower days, so that again, if I'm going to put compressive stress on my back or shear stress, we'll do all of it on the 2 lower body days. Again, this will work my grip more, and because I'm doing so much pulling, I don't mind having 9 or 10 sets of my training be somewhat grip oriented as far as the pulling. As I'm doing other types of rows on the other days, I do at least 5 sets of pull-ups, not more through the week in the morning, just part of my GPP, those wide grip pull-ups. So, and all of that isn't grip limited. And so I want to make sure my grip comes up with all of it, forearms and everything. And this is a good thing to add in. Plus, it's self-limiting on the weight we can use, so it's a little easier as far as recovery goes on the back. But yeah, veins are all coming out. And yeah, I'm definitely getting leaner still. And we got to get leaner. I've got to get bigger. I've got to get leaner to be competitive in tighter weight classes, because I'm a little bit tall for my weight class, which means I have to be lean. I've got to be real lean. And you guys saw all the striations through the legs and the veins through the adductors and everything before my weigh in. There's still the loose skin. There's still some fat in the loose skin, but the thing is, people have to remember loose skin is mostly fat also. So I think I'll be able to burn more of that off. That still represents some fat storage I can burn through. A few pounds. You just got to get leaner. You've got to get leaner. And I'm doing that. And that's why all the conditioning work, that's why the diet is structured the way that it is. Protein overfeeding, lots of carbs, keep the fat low, take fish oil to make sure I get my essential fats. Trying to optimize nutrient partitioning, and for most people that's not necessary or even worth their time. They're better just doing normal bulks and cuts. But in this case, I've got to make all lean gains and try to lose a little bit of body fat while I'm doing it. But we're still going to actually see possibly a little bit of scale weight go up for a bit. And then I can always cut real quick to drop a couple pounds. So after that, we did 5 sets of 10, and I actually made it a plus set. I went up 5 pounds, and I think I picked up like an extra rep on the last set. 5 sets of 10 on my belt squats. Notice they're wide, toes out. Again, we're trying to maximize overall lower body development, and I want the carryover to wide stance power squats. So that's what you're seeing here. And so I'm pretty much at the edges of the platform. And that's what you guys have to look at when you're selecting equipment like this. Even if you're going to select a leg press or whatever for your home gym, you got to look at how wide that platform is. Can we get out to where we would have on a power squat? Do you have that option available? Because that's what we need to maximize lower body development, not just quads. All right, reverse hypers. I just did my normal setup on these. Honestly, I probably need to increase the weight. I probably need to increase the weight on this because I'm capable of it. And I may do some of these on my off days a little bit. Just again, overall GPP restoration, making sure my lower back recovers from all the work I'm doing. It's one reason, again, a lot of my GPP days, you guys see me doing pull-ups, you see me doing leg raises. It's all stuff that puts me in traction to where I'm hanging. All in traction because we're hanging. And you guys will see at the end, I did another set of the high rep band curls. Again, it just gives a pump in the bicep, but mainly I want to build those bicep tendons. I want to build bicep tendons because I want to make sure we don't rupture a bicep on deadlifts, especially if I'm going to be going for deadlift records in my class. I'm going to be pulling up past 600 again eventually. We need to be very careful of that, especially if I start pushing towards a 700 deadlift. I want to make very, very sure those tendons are healthy. Right? That's going to be a critical part of this. I cannot afford a bicep rupture at this point in the game. And so it's a little bit of extra insurance. Plus, I don't do any supine work right now, or very, very little. Everything is pronated grip. So it does give a little bit of extra bicep work at that angle potentially. And it wouldn't hurt for them to get a little bigger. I think it's going to hurt. It certainly won't hurt my bench, along with having that protective measure. So that's where we finished up at, is again, restorative stuff like the reverse hypers. And like I said, I'm just using 275. Again, I probably need to increase it at this point. Probably need to increase the weight on it. And I will, again, probably do some this weekend also, just for the low back recovery. Make sure I build my glutes, make sure I'm building my low back, because it's great for that. One of the better glute exercises, and here we are, we're finishing up with these high rep band curls. I don't know how many I did. I got more than 50 and pretty much just got to failure. So this is how I finished it up, and again, just working on tendon health there. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.